Welcome back to the Handyman channel. Today I've got a video for you that will be a treat for you. It wasn't so much for me, but I was doing a dryer repair yesterday, changing the heating element in an electric Samsung dryer, which I'll show you the model number here in a minute. And normally they're pretty straightforward. You can change out either the whole heating element tube assembly, which comes with a thermostat and a high temperature, high limit. Or you can take the tube apart. There's a top and a bottom half, call it a clamshell. Usually some screws, about 4 to 6 screws. You take out and separate the top half, pull the heating element plate out and change it out with a new one, and then put it all back together. That's pretty standard. This one was different. So enjoy. Okay, so today I'm changing out a heater on a Samsung dryer, which normally is pretty straightforward. But this time Samsung has decided to rivet the heater enclosure closed. And you can't buy the whole assembly. Like on some of them you can buy the whole assembly. And this one you just got to replace the heating element, which normally there's screws you'd unscrew, take it apart like a clamshell, and replace the heating element. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So this is the heating element, okay, and the heater coils are inside there. Here's the 2 leads for the heater power, and then you've got your thermostat and your high limit. And so normally they have these guys with some screws right here. Okay, you just unscrew the screws, you take this top half off, and then you can access the heater inside and change it out. But they thought they'd get clever and rivet this or spot weld, whatever they did here. And now you can't change just that part inside without having to drill this out. So I have to drill these out to change that. Otherwise, sometimes you can replace this whole assembly, but not in this case. Thanks, Samsung. Okay, got the rivets drilled out, and I should be able to separate this now. We get a screwdriver and pop it apart. I took these screws out of these 2, so I'll separate it and change it. And so I have to pry these. It's ridiculous. After I drilled it, I still have to pry the heater from the housing. See, if I'd have drilled all the way through, it probably would have separated, but that's what we got. So I'm prying this one apart. And here, put a screwdriver in here, and pry it apart. Can't really video it with one hand. Let's see here. Maybe I can do this. See here. Definitely have gloves on because sharp edges. There we go. Got that one. We'll get this one. What a pain. I mean, if I had to drill out these end ones too, I could take this whole thing off. But honestly, I don't want to spend another half an hour. I'm in the field. I didn't expect to have to drill this. I do have some drill bits, but I don't have a powerful drill. Wow, this is the worst I have seen. Samsung strikes again. Wow. I mean, you couldn't just put a screw in there, huh? There we go. All right, got that separated. Now, we can open this up, and I can change out the heater. This part here has tabs on these blades that you don't know if you can see that, but there's these tabs right here on the blade that hold it in place. So I'm gonna straighten that out. And that should pull out like that. Do the same on this one. And then that should pull out. I got my old heater out. And you can see, let's see if we can find where this is broken. Usually it's on the bottom. Not on the bottom in this case. It's hiding. Oh, there it is. So that's where it's broken. So we got a new heater. And here's our new one. We're going to put in here. Do a little comparison. I'll get it the same way as the original. See the coils. Yep. Okay. This will be fun. I'm gonna have to straighten these out a little bit, these tabs. And then I'm gonna put this heater in here and I'm gonna put screws in it to hold it. But first, I'm going to put these blades back in. And I'm going to bend the tab so it'll stay. Okay, that should do it. Let's see. I'm going to probably bend both tabs down. So those blades will stay and not come out. Okay, now I just got to put this back. And I want to make sure that this wire doesn't touch the frame right here. So I'm going to bend this up a little bit. It's okay. You don't want the wire to touch the frame here, housing, or to touch this metal here, because then it'll short out and it'll run all the time. You don't want that. So it's got insulating clips which keep it separated from the metal here. All right, I'm going to put this back together and put some screws in it. So it gets more funner and more funner. Now it's not a simple matter of just drilling the screws through the holes, because the holes don't exist. So I've got to drill some holes in this. So you can see the new heater. I can line it up with these holes, see? But then these, where I'm going to put the screw through is right here, and there's obviously no hole there, so I'm going to have to drill holes in those spots. A little smaller than the screw. My screws are, I found some screws. They're like quarter inch drive. So I'm going to drill holes in these and also in the top half as well. I've marked it where I'm going to drill my holes. And so I'll drill those and we'll come back. wants to walk. Now, bend it so it doesn't, hopefully that doesn't walk. Another way to prevent it from walking is to take a punch. I don't have a punch right now, but I use this Phillips head screwdriver. Put it on your mark and kind of make a dimple. See if that'll get the bit to stay in the spot you're drilling. Okay, now we'll try to put it together and see if it's going to work. Move it to a different spot here. All right, now I'm lined up these holes as best as I can with the bottom half of the clamshell, the heater plate, and the top half with the holes that I drilled. And now I'm going to put one in at a time, see if I can get it started. I'll start with this one. Get it threaded through here and make sure I get it threaded through the heater plate. And get this hole lined back up here. On the other side. Come through. I got one, so maybe I can get another one here. I'm gonna alternate. I've got these black screws and I've got these silver ones, but these are still nut drivers. That hole is not lined up very good. Let's see if I can get it straightened out there. It's coming through. Good. There's two. Now I just got to get these other. I think this might be tricky on this side. maybe. This is a real pain. I've not had to deal with this kind of stuff before, really. I'm probably smashing those leads on the sensors on the other side, so that's fun. Okay, I got it through the top clamshell and the heater plate. Now I got to get it lined up through the bottom clamshell. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, I'm bending those. That's fun. And one last screw here. I'll have to straighten those out. Might as well just take these off because I'm wrecking them. Put those back on in a few minutes. See if I can get this guy straightened out here. Howdy.
How's it going?
Looks kind of Frankensteined, but you can probably see it now. I got the screws through and through the heater and through the clamshell. I got to make sure that the heater wires don't touch, the coils don't touch the frame here. And it looks good. All right. And then this guy I'll straighten back out. It goes like this when it gets put back in place, like there. But there's a screw to get to here, so I'm gonna leave it down for now. Kind of straighten out a little bit here. I'm gonna go ahead and put these, this one's the temperature sensor, the thermostat. Okay, that goes right here. And then this other one is the what's called the high limit. I'll straighten that out. And this is a fuse, basically a thermal fuse. So if this thing gets too hot for too long, it'll blow this fuse and cause the heater to turn off. All right, let's see if I can get this back together here. Straighten these brackets out. As long as this lead doesn't snap off, we'll be okay. If it does, I've got another one. All right, good. Put this guy back. Gloves are helpful, but from getting cut, I don't want to get cut, but on the other hand, it's not good for dexterity on these holding the screws. Oh, that's nice. Straighten this, kind of squeeze this back together with my pliers, just so it's not all funky looking. Wow, I tell you what, if I had to do this over with this particular model, I think I would contact Samsung and say, I'm sure you've got a whole assembly you can send me. Let's do that. And I'm sure they probably do. I think they just want to make it difficult for the average person. Okay, so these heaters, let's see if I can move this around a little bit so you can see. It goes in that hole and it rests on this bracket. It's got two little dimples on it right there, which go line up to that. So you kind of tuck it in here like this. There we go. And then it sits on here. There's a flat tab right there, which goes in a slot right there. And then that screw can go in. And then I can bend this back up and put that screw back in. So let's see if we can do that. Got this guy. There we go. Now I can straighten this. This kind of helps keep the heat in there. It allows air to get pulled in, but it also kind of keeps heat there as much as it can. And then this bracket gets screwed in here. Straighten that out. Just gotta hook up the wires. See if I can remember how they go. I'm gonna check it with I took a picture beforehand. That's a little loose. Customer was in here already and had replaced the thermal fuse and the temperature sensor, the temperature thermostat. And so when you pull these off, sometimes they get a little loose, so you can kind of squeeze them down a little bit with pliers to just kind of help it be a snug fit. There you go. It's tight. That's loose. That's good. Okay. All right. I'll double check that. I want to make sure these rollers are, make sure the rollers spin nice and smooth. If not, you want to replace the rollers or at least clean up the shafts on the insides of the rollers. These ones have bearings, so you would have to replace the whole thing. There's a couple more rollers on the, this is the part that goes on the front here that holds the drum. So these rollers, you want to check also. They spin nice. Got some hair on here, we want that off of there. So I'll take that off and then put it back together. Blower wheel, check to make sure that's not broken, not loose. Here's where your pulley, your motor pulley, your idler pulley is. Make sure those spin okay. Looks pretty clean. It looks like he was in here and he did kind of clean it up. And then this is for your front sensor. All right, I'm gonna hook this back together and test it. I'm gonna double check my wiring and make sure I have it hooked up right. Yeah, my wiring is correct, so that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy back together. Okay, got it done. I'm testing it out right now. You can see the orange glow down there, so the heater's on, so that's good. Whereas before it was not. It's running nice and quiet. That's good. Line up these things. There we go. I'll slide it back in place, and it'll be all done. So there you go. Let that be a lesson to you. Know what you're getting into. Yeah, like life, right? All right, see you next time.